Hello everyone and welcome back to Passion Sundays. Guess who our guest is today? He's somebody that will help you get control of your life. His book, Getting Things Done, has been debuted as one of the best-selling books ever, the top 50. And simply his methodology is going to keep you focused and going to help you get more out of your life. David Allen. David, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Happy to be here, thanks.
So the obvious first question that I ask is, how important is passion in life for people to succeed?
Well, I think you need to care. You know, oftentimes I think people interpret passion as being as having lots of high energy, but I interpret it as something as what really is really caring and having something potentially meaningful to you. Because passion can look like sitting very quietly and reading, or sitting very quietly and talking to someone. So it doesn't have to be up and jumping around. It's the source of energy and of sort of the deep intentionality, if you will, of who we are as a human being. I think probably shows up that way when you're in your zone, and things cook when that happens.
I love that. Thank you very much for that. So the question here becomes is, you find your passion, you've got your source of energy. However, there's the other side of so much energy that is being dispersed and wasted. How can we combat that?
Sure. Well, the whole 35 years I've been studying this and researching this and finding the best practices is really about how do you get space? How do you get room? If you don't have room, if you don't have space internally, if you're distracted by all kinds of things, if you have a whole lot of open loops out there that are actually sucking your energy, it's very hard to. You might have the intention to be enjoying something, but you just don't have the energy to be able to do it. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much of their energy is actually tied up and invested in a lot of these things because they're inappropriately being managed or engaged with them. And so once you free that up, it creates a lot more room to have a lot more energy and to be able to focus appropriately. So all those techniques that give you more room, capturing stuff that has your attention, clarifying exactly what it means, parking the results in a trusted place, and stepping back and being able to see the larger picture on a regular basis. To me, that's what keeps me focused, keeps me passionate, keeps me engaged in the most meaningful things. But it's tricky. You're right. You can slip out of it very easily and not know you slipped out of it.
Yeah, I think the passion burnout is a big syndrome that a lot of the passionate, and especially those that have extra energy like me and that are extroverted with their energy, end up revving a lot sometimes out of passion and not gaining traction. So there's energy going but without traction.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why determining where do I want to park that energy. And people use the word discipline. I don't like the word discipline. It's too hard, too much work. It sounds like sweat to me.
True.
I like the word direction. You need to direct your focus.
I like that.
So if you have high energy, where are you directing that high energy? Oftentimes, even high energy can be directed internally, in meditation and spiritual practices. Oftentimes people look like they're not doing anything, but actually the universe is always on. The universe never stops.
I like that.
So if I do meditative or contemplative practices, all I'm doing is stopping a high engagement with one level and then highly engaging on another level. So I think it's about where do I engage my attention, and it could look like a lot of different things.
You've touched on a great point, which is knowing what you want in the first place, is the clarity of where your energy is being directed. So is that the first step of getting things done in a way, getting clarity what you want in life?
Well, come on, that always helps. But many times clarity only comes from engaging.
Okay.
You might have a sense of where you're going.
Okay.
And a lot of people, they want to make it perfect before they get going. And I say, you're not going to, if you're waiting to find the perfect thing to do, you'll never do anything. You need to get moving. So oftentimes you're getting moving at the same time as you keep course correcting. See, I don't think I've ever achieved a specific goal I had in the past.
Okay.
I slide into new things because I say, well, what's the best thing I could do right now? And I just direct myself that way. But as I'm going that direction, I get halfway there and I go, wait a minute, that's really what I wanted. Not that. That's really a better thing. I never made it there, but I wouldn't have gotten to see that if I hadn't been moving toward that. So I kind of slid into my life that way. So I think what you need to do is not try to go for perfection. Just go, let me find the best thing right now that I can see on my radar, and not have to feel like I now have enlightened clarity about exactly what I want to do. That's only going to show up when you get involved and get engaged and then course correct and just be conscious.
I love that. So it is about being dynamic rather than saying, okay, this is it. Because when we run the passion workshops and people are thinking, okay, I'm going to have to be committed to this for the rest of my life. And I say, you commit to it for as long as you're committed until you find the next best thing. But you have to commit to something today.
Exactly.
You have to have something to commit to today.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
And I like the word engagement. Commitment to me also sounds kind of hard. It's like, oh, commit.
Okay, I love that.
But if I can just get engaged, if I engage with it, that means, see, and to engage, you do commit. I'm committing my body. I'm committing my attention. So just a definition of terms there. But I like the idea that, commit says it better be right, or there's going to be something that happens to me.
I love that.
Whereas if I engage,
I love that. I love how practical and more on the ground language that you're using. The next point here is the obvious: is we're all pretty much in a rat race, or most of us are in a rat race. We're trying to get more done at work. And we're missing out on the important things in life. And you hear people that reach the end of their life, and you hear somebody like a Steve Jobs, who everybody looked up to, but got to a point and said, maybe I did that at the expense of something more important. And what I love about the work that you do, you talk about it from a very well-balanced perspective of what needs to be done where.
Yeah. Well, the key thing, I think, to keep in mind is what most has your attention. And that, it depends on how conscious you want to be, but what most has your attention. And if what has your attention is, I'm feeling stressed right now, and say, well, what do you need to do to get that off your mind? Well, I either need to relax, or I need to be okay with that stress. I need to point it in the right direction. So start to pay attention to what has your attention. And by the way, once you actually pay appropriate attention to what has your attention, then you'll find out what really has your attention. Which, by the way, once you then handle, will allow you to open up to see what really has your attention. But you can't start down at that end. You really have to start with, gee, I need cat food. So you better handle that. Oh, that reminds me, I want another cat. Or I don't need pets. Okay. Oh, that reminds me. I wonder what I'm doing with my life. And then you will wind up, if you keep actually being conscious about where your mind goes, you don't have to go very far to actually start to get engaged in a way that may open up for you what really matters and what you need to do about it. See, balance for a 21-year-old and it's all adrenaline, maybe 99% party or 99% work. Balance doesn't mean 50-50. Balance just simply says, this is the way my lifestyle wants to be right now.
Okay. So on that journey of passion, I'd say living with a passion and finding and discovering and making your passion come true, it will evolve based on the context that you're having on a day-to-day basis also.
Sure, oh, absolutely. And moving forward to it, it could very well be, you could call it, I don't know, call it karma, call it your destiny or whatever. At some point you may have done enough of that to experience and to glean the gold out of that you needed to. And sometimes you have to pay attention, because sometimes the energy will start to disperse. And a lot of people start to feel bad. Well, I sort of committed to that, but now this is that may be a message that there's another direction now for you. You may have done what you needed to do out of that. See, I have a 2.2-year hobby span. I have a hobby for about 2 years,
and
then I'm sort of the man of all hobbies,
And you think there's nothing wrong with that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It gives me a wide range of experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not one thing that you have to commit to for the rest of your life. You just go with the flow.
Heavens no.
I love that. Awesome. Well, this has been amazing. And if there's one last tip that you would give to people who want to live a passionate and engaged life, what would that be?
Well, here's mine. I'll be quite self-disclosing.
Yeah.
Let go, let God.
Let go, let God.
Yep.
I love that. Thank you very much. And I'm sure our viewers have got the best out of this to use these tips that are practical, useful on a day-to-day basis to stay passionate, stay engaged. Passion. What do you think? I would really love to hear your opinion. If you'd like to stay engaged, subscribe to our social media channel. And if you want even more valuable resources and exclusive interviews, go to MoustafaHamwi.com and subscribe to our Passion Sundays newsletter. Until next episode, live passionately.